Thanks for joining me today at Learnwake. My name is Brandon Judd, and today I'm responding to a video analysis request that has been uploaded by Jose on a crow Mobe attempt. And in this attempt, he submitted this video and asked for some pointers, and then I have been emailing back and forth with him a little bit, and he gave me some more thoughts on it as well as some other videos. So let's work backwards. So here's the first video I saw of Jose's crow Mobe, and we'll just take a look at that in slow motion here. A lot of switch front flip in it, and then pretty good, just falling over his heels. And now that we've seen that, we'll look at some of the dialogue between he and I. So he says, I've actually landed one but can't seem to figure out what the hiccup is. Nevertheless, I do have two theories. One, my scarecrows tend to be front flippy, where I usually pull on the handle and rotate in a forward tip over tip fashion. That's correct. Uh, that is one of the issues that you have. So let's look at that video really quick and take a peek. So this is going to be a very tip over tip front flip. So you'll notice if you were to, for our viewers at home here, if you're to pretend that he took off the wake left foot forward, and that is a front flip, right? Like if you were to really think about the landing of a front flip, that's very much it. So he already turns a full 180, a couple feet from the wake, and then continues the front flip out of the end there. So his assessment is actually really accurate. The next one he mentions here is he says, number two, I'm landing my toeside threes blind 70% of the time. The ones I miss, I get the handle pulled out of my hand. I think I'm leaning too much forward at the landing, increasing line tension. I think that would be it. Thanks. So let's take a look at this 360. So your 360 here, you think you might be landing too far forward. And by forward, I think you mean forward according to your body, not the boat. So like forward toward your over your chest. So there is a lot of truth to that. However, that's a little bit of a symptom of something else. This is not bad. That can still be okay. Um, but what's really important is where your board is pointing. And if you don't stay twisted enough on the landing, and rotate enough on the landing, what's going to happen is the nose of your board is going to point towards shore really hard. And then when the nose of your board is pointed towards shore, it's essentially on edge. And then when you lean chest over, what you're doing is you're edging away hard. And anytime you start leaning and edging on your edge, you're going to create line tension. So that's why your toe side three is so much tension on the landing as far as the handle being pulled out of your hands. So a way to fix that is to just twist the board more. Try to get the nose of your board to point more down the path of the boat, if that makes sense. You just have to be way more twisted. Like you'll notice here that your chest and your knees and your toes are all pretty in line. You would just have to get this to twist a little further. And that is going to affect a lot of how your line tension is. Like if you lean over the tail, it just kind of slows you down. But if you lean over your toe side edge really hard, then it's going to accelerate you, which is going to really pull on the line. So, but your toe side three looks great. It might be a little early that you're going to blind here with your whole body. Like you can look, like watch your eyes and shoulders and hips and feet. Look at how they all move together on this one. Just as if you're like frozen in that position and your whole body just keeps moving and lands like that. You're landing on essentially a hard edge. So what we need you to do is we need you to like right here, I want you to keep your chest and shoulders to stay behind. And I want you to try to lead with this part of your board, what will be your tail, what started out with as your tail, but in this like switch heel side position is your nose. So take the tip of your board here and you're going to use that to kind of lead your rotation into the landing. So you shouldn't be looking like completely away from the boat yet. Like you're already looking back here towards shore, and you're still in the air. Um, so you can chin and chest up. You just want to make sure that your board is not behind you. Like your chest is almost facing more towards shore than your board is. And what happens is when you do that, you run the risk of a back edge if you don't twist enough. But then if you do twist enough like you did here, you ended up, or if you do rotate enough here, you end up landing on a hard edge. So you just have to get your upper body and your lower body to rotate independent of each other. And you want your lower body to lead in the rotation on the landing. I think this, working on this a little bit, will help a lot with your crow mob landing. Um, that said, when we look back at at your when we look back at your scarecrow, it's very like you said front flippy. Like you're already right here, fully 180 before you flipped. So what we need to do is we need to get the board going out around you more instead of having you come up and over too much. And we just need to delay that because what's going to happen is you're going to be dropping out of this like switch front to blind, which is a really tough landing. It's kind of an awkward direction to be flipping. Doing it like this is also going to make it really hard to grab because you're going to kind of explode off the wake into this untwisting, whipping momentum. And it's really hard to grab the board amongst all this craziness. Um, so I want to show you a couple examples of videos that are crow mobs that have a little bit easier uh, beginning, that start out more like a scarecrow, and then at the last second, if the scarecrow feels good, it turns into crow mob. So I'll show you a grabbed example. This is Clayton Underwood grabbing nose on this crow mob, and you'll notice that it doesn't look like a crow mob at first. So he's able to go up and let the board rotate out behind him. At this point, if you were to lay him on the ground, he'd pretty much just be laying on his back and rolling over this way. To us in the viewing in the boat, it would look like he's just rolling clockwise on the ground if we were to put the ground under him. Instead of like rolling around your torso, you sort of do like this tumble somersault thing where you bring your feet over your head, which is just kind of awkward. And makes it a little less consistent. So um, you'll notice he just kind of, as soon as he gets to this position, he just sort of rolls around his torso. And it's a lot less of a flip for your head. Your head pretty much stays in the same spot, and you just kind of look over your shoulder. And then he stays at scarecrow till about here. And then this is where his lower body gets ahead of him. See how he's still spotting his landing through his feet? And his chest is facing this way, and his board is already starting to twist into the backside 180. So he's really leading with his lower body. Then when he impacts, his board is able to continue going kind of neutrally the direction that the boat is traveling. And then he passes the handle pretty quick on this one to save from any extra line tension. But that's the key with that, is taking it nice and easy, scarecrow out the back, and then as you drop out of it, I mean, right here he could kind of bail. If he didn't like it, he would just open up and stay like this, um, and then lead with his lower body into the backside 180 here. I hope that makes sense. So your toeside threes are really going to affect this a lot. And then on your crow mob, we just want to get you to flip a little bit less tip over tail right away. I mean, you sort of seize up with your upper body and lurch forward really hard, and that's what's causing you to go right over. And you're kind of just really upside down here. Like your hips and your shoulders and your head should be more in line toward the boat like Clayton's was, instead of fully sideways here. Um, and then when you go to blind right now, you'll notice your board is really far behind your rotation and your chest and shoulders is really far in front of your rotation. um, and then they start to kind of catch up with each other here. Um, Whereas your landing position here, your board should be pointed this way a little more down the path of the boat, so that you could lean your over your toes and kind of get your chest back over the tail. Doing that is going to allow your board to stay on this trajectory path toward the boat, instead of either slipping out over your heels here if you don't rotate enough with the board, or if you were to rotate a little bit more than you did here and lean harder with your upper body, you would end up on that hard edge like you did with your toeside threes. So it's kind of complicated only because you're so close on this. It's very just minor nuances to get this corrected. So I think you can definitely do it. I think when you practice your scarecrows and your toeside threes, the scarecrows should be less over the top flippy. Try to just be patient with that last 180, um, and then do some front rolls to kind of warm up, and then do some scarecrows where you're really patient and you save the 180 for the end, um, or at least for the peak of the trick, and not on the way up. And then on the toe side 360s, you want to really focus on getting your lower body to rotate further into the trick than your upper body, and get your board pointing back down the path of the boat a little bit more. Just a little more twist in your torso will really go a long way. But again, you're really close on this. I think this is great. So I would work on those toe side 360s, get that dialed, and then try to just be as patient as possible. So if we even look at this, like when you're going to take a last look at this and look at when you're at um, so right now you're at 180, and then when you go to 360, you're going really quick. Your board doesn't look it, but your body does. Like if you remember, it's kind of hard to explain, but if you remember where Clayton was at his point where he decided he could either go to Mobe or he could back out. Right now, your committed point to Mobe is like here or even earlier because of where your arm is. Um, it's probably more right here. Yeah, right there. As soon as your arm goes out, you're telling everyone, "Hey, I'm going to Chromobe and I'm not backing out." So you're really only on your side here, kind of half flipped, and you've already committed. You should be able to be more three-quarters the way through the flip before that part of it comes. And I'm not saying dangerously wait until you're risking a back edge. I'm just saying that if you start it too early, and you commit too early, you can't back out of it. And then if it is a bad flip, and you want to bail, it becomes too hard to just stay at scarecrow. Um, and then you end up risking a harder edge anyway. So I would wait a little bit and be really patient. And the way to do that and feel comfortable being patient is to fix your scarecrows to where you're dropping out of them, nice and easy, feeling like, okay, yeah, I could go to Mobe here. I hope that makes sense. Again, you're really close. This is really advanced stuff. You're doing really great stuff here, and I wish you the best of luck. I think that you're going to do really well. But again, if you have problems, you can always submit another video of your scarecrows, your toeside threes, and your crow mob. I really like and want to applaud you for sending me all three of those. For other people watching this who are curious of how to submit a video, I love being able to see all of those, your prerequisites as well as your goal trick, because that taught me a lot about what I need to tell you in order to land this. So again, great work, great riding. Hopefully these things will become really consistent for you with just a few minor tweaks. Thanks again.